This is BNN, the Bloviation Nation Network. Good evening, folks, and a hearty welcome to the Dullards Club Drive-In Theater. We have some wonderful entertainment lined up for you, some that will provide several minutes of pleasurable relaxation and diversion for you and your circle of boring friends. Did you fail to dress up for today's episode? No tie, an old shirt and slacks, a house dress maybe? Well, don't give it a thought. We're glad you came as you are. We just want you to enjoy yourselves. And don't forget to visit our refreshment center during the intermission or any time. You'll love the tasty array of snacks we have to offer. So will the youngsters. Everything is quality and so good. We hope you'll make this a weekly visit. Bring your family, bring your friends. There are always wonderful, new, entertaining episodes to see and hear, delightful snacks to nibble, a pleasant evening for all. Oh, and a word of caution, don't drive over 10 miles per hour in the theater area for safety's sake. And Mom or Pop, go with the kids when they leave the car. We hope you'll have a wonderful time. Come back soon. This is the Dullards Club, in case you're just tuning in and you were thinking, what is the name of this podcast I'm listening to right now?
And how the hell did I find it?
It seems to be pretty mundane, pretty, I would say dull. And so, in fact, it is the Dullards Club. And here we are doing what we do best, or at least competently, or
maybe it's second best.
Well, marginally. We do it marginally well. Anyway, hey, you were talking the other day about horses, and I really didn't. I mean, we were horsing around with this, but
yeah,
it had to do with trailers or something. I don't know what.
As often happens, all these little tidbits I come up with, it's either during my walk or driving on the way to my walk or running errands or riding the bike or whatever. And this particular case, I got behind a horse trailer. I don't see them that frequently, but I did see this one. And every time I see one, my first reaction is, God, that's going to suck for the poor horses. They're just standing in a confined space, not a lot of room to move around. And, you know, the ones I see, I'll assume there are two in there because it's almost too big for one, but it's just about the right size for two side by side. But they would be shoulder to shoulder.
If you didn't put them together like this, wouldn't they fall down? I mean, you have to kind of pack them in, don't you? That's why if you get a single horse trailer, it's just like the size of a horse and maybe a foot or two on either side, so they can't fall over, and they can't go backwards or forward.
Where are they bringing them? A horse vet must make a house call. Maybe they don't, and maybe that's why you put them in a trailer. Or maybe you're going for a ride on a new trail and you got to get there, like you strap a bike on the back of a car. Did you ever notice that?
I mean, I certainly have noticed horse trailers going down the road, but I always kind of figured that they are the size and shape they are because they don't want the horse to fall over. And
I mean, that would work.
I also heard
see how they could fall over.
It was an interesting little tidbit, and probably not correct. But I heard that if horses do lie down and get on their back, they will die because of the way that their organs are positioned within their body.
Is that a fact?
So they have to be upright.
Well, no, wait a minute.
Well, they can roll over on their back, but they can't stay there. If they get stuck on their back, they will die. Maybe it's a respiratory thing, or maybe it's some other organs that are hanging the wrong way.
How about on their side?
I really don't know, but they tend to stand up. I don't know, horse trailers. How do we get off on horse trailers?
Well, it's a bunch of horse crap, so let's go on to the next subject.
It just came to mind as we were having this conversation about horses and trailers. And it has nothing to do with horses or trailers other than the fact that there's a reference to horses in these cars. They were called at the time pony cars. And they all started with the
Mustang.
Here, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
What is the year that the first Mustang was released?
64 and a half.
Good for you.
I had a 65. My first vehicle was a 1965 Mustang. Blue, 289 V8, automatic. I paid $650 for it. We talked them down from $695. You made the mistake of asking.
Well, I asked the question, but it was really just to find out if you knew this little quirk of release conventions.
Yes.
Across the auto industry. They used to, obviously, they go by the year.
The calendar year.
And they would always come out maybe 3 or 4 months before the year.
September.
And so it was new, and you were always getting a new car. Mm-hmm. But in this case, Mustang, they decided that they wanted to release their car in the early spring or late winter, whatever. And so they had to decide that they were going to, instead of calling it a 1964, which would have been late for that time, and too early to be a 1965, it became a 1964 and a half Mustang. And
do I win a prize for knowing that?
Yeah, in fact, I've got a keychain that I'm going to send to you.
I already have one.
And in case anybody is playing at home and you had Don as your partner, you're going to get a keychain too. Just let us know. Did I mention this is the Dullards Club? I think I did, but certainly it's living up to its name.
Well, speaking of cars, on one of my rides recently, I got behind a guy in a vet. All I saw was a bald head, and I'm saying, okay, older guys driving Corvettes.
I thought you meant he was a veteran.
No, I'm sorry.
No,
Corvette. Midlife crisis, is that still a thing? I'm sure it is. Do they?
It's supposed to happen in midlife, Don.
I know.
He's firmly ensconced in the back nine here.
So did he buy it at his midlife crisis in his 40s, and he's still enjoying it? Or do they still think it's a chick magnet? When you're a bald-headed 70-year-old guy or a 65-year-old guy, I don't know what kind of chicks you're going to attract with that thing.
Well, it's all about symbolism. I wish I could argue with you on that one, but I feel the same way when I see someone driving around in one of those cars that you know that this is a car that this person has always wanted to have.
Yeah.
When he was a kid, he was in high school, and he saw that car and he said, someday I'm going to have a vet, and all the girls are going to look at me when I pull in with the top down and then my hair blowing in the breeze. And sometimes these things just don't work out. And it takes that long to buy the Corvette.
To afford it. I had those dreams about a gremlin.
Well, it's certainly going to attract some folks, but I don't think it's exactly who you might have wanted to attract.
I was going to start by saying, by the way, Pat, what do you drive? Just in case you drove a vet.
I do not drive a vet. No, at one point I had a friend who had a Chevette, but I think we're in a totally different sphere here.
Well, and then I quickly said, if I start this thing, there are going to be those who comment or think it but don't comment that, aren't you the asshole that's got a motorcycle at 70 years old? And I say yes, and there are those that think that's my midlife crisis, but it's not. I just enjoy riding around it. I don't care what you think.
Well, I mean, a vet is a statement. I suppose a bike is less of a statement, really. I mean, there's a lot of folks riding around on bikes, and some of them are pretty old and decrepit, and and if you fit into that, then...
Well, I'm not ready to, when I can't ride this anymore. I don't think I'm going to be one of those ones that buys one of those trikes, or what are they called?
I was just going to say, those are great. Yeah, the Can-Am or something.
Can-Am or something like it's a Can-Am. There's another one. First of all, I couldn't fit it in my shed.
One of them has the two wheels in the front.
Well, some of them are one in front and two in the back, and the Can-Ams, I think, are two in front and one in back.
So hard to keep track of. You would think that would be something where we would be circling the drain, but in fact, this is all pre-circled. This is the meat of the program that you're listening to right now. Of course it is. But we have worked our way toward the drain. And as we do that, we just want to remind you that we've got some more stuff coming for you on the other side, and also a bit of a surprise toward the end.
That's exciting.
But it's a good surprise. We're very excited about it, and we're going to tell you about it later. In the show, we're going to tell you about it. So let's circle the drain, and we'll be right back.
Wrap it up.
The drain is being circled, and the end is near. So just a couple of things we want to get off our chests, our collective chests. One of them, you and I talked about it last week, about this show that both of our wives happen to watch.
Of course.
It's
yes.
called The Stranger Things, where they're in the in-between or the upside down or the back and forth or whatever the name of this place is where they go. But my wife watches this. But in addition to that particular show, she also watches every show where it's like the 13th or 14th century and it's like British, or the Norsemen are coming down, and there's plenty of sword play,
that's
and
another one.
everyone's dirty, and the hair is all long. And I was thinking, all of these shows took place before the invention of the comb,
Or soap.
and I think we've gone full circle here, because I had to go out to get some coffee this morning, and I happened to notice there were an awful lot of guys who haven't seen a comb for a while. So I'm wondering if it's a consequence of tariffs, and maybe all the combs come from China, or what it is. But the whole personal grooming, not hygiene. I'm not going to infer that these people were not clean, but their hair was mopped up and combs were necessary. So
The other thing that I've noticed is more and more people are comfortable in going out in public, just being comfortable, not caring about their appearance at all. To the point, did you just roll out of bed and throw on your sweatpants? You're going out into public. Have a little thoughtfulness of the people who have to see you.
it sounds like they just got off a plane, because that's pretty much the wardrobe for plane travel these days.
Remember the days when it's funny looking at old shows and seeing people getting ready for taking a trip, and they're wearing their suits and ties on the plane.
1930s, 1940s, look at old pictures of a baseball game.
Yes.
Everyone's got the hat. Everyone's got, they're all dressed up.
Right.
Hey, listen, I got something here hot off the news wire. A Kentucky man woke up during an organ harvesting procedure. And unfortunately, he was the person they were harvesting from. So this is not
This
supposed
isn't
to happen.
one of those, what do they call these things? The urban myths.
Well, no. I don't know. It was on the internet, so I'm assuming it's true. But they were going in to harvest whatever organs they could, I guess, from this person who was supposed to be deceased or no more brain activity or whatever else. And it turns out he was watching them as they were going in and doing the cutting. So word of the wise, when you have that little thing on your license, you need to put maybe more of a stipulation on there.
Sure, I'm dead.
Please check. Check
Hold the
before
mirror
cutting.
up under my nostrils and make sure nothing else is going on. Your news feature made me think of one I meant to mention here. I was watching the news last week. Officials say a monitor lizard that escaped from a Webster, Massachusetts home earlier this month was spotted over the
Wait a second. No, stop. Escape from somebody's home.
Yes.
So are we to assume, was this the family pet?
Yes.
Okay, continue.
Police in Webster say Goose, a 5-foot-long lizard, leapt out of a second-floor window on July 18th. The lizard was being kept as a pet, and someone who was house-sitting opened the window, allowing it to escape. I wonder if that's my chameleon from my youth.
Yeah, you didn't realize. That is amazing. What the monitor lizard? That is akin to, what's that other one that's a big old?
The
Komodo dragon.
A Komodo dragon. Thank you.
Yeah, that's the largest lizard species. We got to wrap this up. If assuming that we're circling the drain now, we are wrapping up this episode here. I just want to leave you with one thing. I just wasn't feeling all that good this past weekend. With the heat and everything that we've been experiencing, and it looks like we've got another week of it coming up. So I went looking for a place where I could maybe relax, but I didn't want to get into anything that was going to overcommit me. So I found a spot that advertised sad ending massages.
Not while I'm drinking.
Well, no, I think that's the only time you actually go into a place like that is while you're drinking. But all right, we should wrap this up. We're going away now. Oh, by the way, this is our final actual program for the rest of the summer, as we're going to take a little hiatus here, a little break. But while we're gone, we've got some interesting things planned for you and a whole new show for your listening pleasure. Anyway, we're out of here. Have a great rest of your summer and enjoy what's coming up next. And please remember, stay dull.